All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mother of Eden podcast. I'm your host, Anat. A lot of people mispronounce that. It's Anat, like not. If you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button. Mother of Eden is your premier event host for the vegan plant-based community. We have another event coming up, our second plant-based dinner cruise that's happening on June 24th. So get your tickets. We're going to put the link in the description. Um, and I want to just give you a nice welcome. This is Dave. I'm sorry. Can I call you David?
Yeah,
Dave.
either one,
David.
Dave or
Oh,
David.
I see
I'm
Dave.
not
So
high
I'm allowed.
maintenance.
So I'm
Yeah,
allowed.
yeah,
Okay.
you're totally allowed.
Some people don't
I'm
like.
I'm bitchy, but I'm not that high maintenance, so it's all right.
Okay. This is Mr. Dave or David Huffman. He's based in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bitchy. It's so weird. I'm cursing him. My mom's upstairs.
I have a
Bitchy
story
V.
about what my mom says about it. So,
Uh-oh. Bitchy vegan homo.
hmm
Prides himself on taking baking seriously, but not himself, like he told me
hmm
earlier.
yeah,
Known for his best damn brown, he likes to curse. Best damn brownies and other treats. BBH is
hmm
out to prove that the best desserts are always cruelty free. Oh, I love
hmm
that. Nice
yep.
to meet you. We have actually
Nice to
never
meet
really
you.
met. I mean, we kind of
No,
met briefly the other day,
right.
but we've never
hmm
met in person. So
No.
thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I also saw that you have your own podcast too.
Well, yeah. So a good friend of mine, also up here in Cleveland, Vegan Vicky, whose company is Conscious Cuisine. We were doing a podcast
I know.
called Vegan Cheesecake. Do you know
I
Vicky
just I
or
just know not Vicky, but I
oh
just know the business.
yeah, her food's delicious and she's hilarious. And we did a podcast for a while called Vegan Cheesecake, which was a vegan food and Golden Girls themed podcast.
Oh, so
And we were
cute.
doing it and we were doing it before the pandemic. And then once the pandemic hit, we tried to keep it going, but then it just kind of like a lot of things went on pause. And we're hoping to get it started up again. But right now, there's all the back episodes are still available, but we haven't made any new ones in way too long. So they're pretty
Okay,
entertaining though. So check them
cool.
out.
I
So.
cannot wait. I
Mhm.
can't wait. So are you originally from Cleveland?
I'm not actually. I'm from Pittsburgh originally.
Not too
So,
far, right?
yeah, not too far. It's only a couple hours away. And of course, Pittsburgh and Cleveland are basically the same city. They just don't like to think of themselves as the same city. And, I mean, there's the exact same kind of, Rust Belt kind of, urban kind of settings. But yeah, so they're both my homes now. So
For
that's
some
where I'm
reason,
from.
I don't like to be psychic or assume, but for some reason I didn't think you were from Cleveland. I didn't
Yeah,
think you
you
were
were
from
you were
Ohio at
right.
all. Okay.
Well, when I saw your name, and again, thank you for correctly pronouncing it, but I don't know if you are familiar with the Pittsburgh dialect at all, but your name in Pittsburgh is actually, it's like a euphemism, it's a slang. Like Pittsburgh has a very specific dialogue or dialect, and people just end sentences with an at. Like they go, Yin's guy's going down to the game and at. Like they just like and that. Like it's just some weird
Oh,
like dialectic thing. So when I saw your name come up, I was like, I'm sure she doesn't say that, and I'm sure if she was originally from Pittsburgh, she would. No one would do that to you. So yeah,
no, but it's a
so
not.
yeah, I
It's
know, but I'm saying
Egyptian, but you're
right
saying that, but that's how it
that,
would
but
be
that's how it's
spelled.
spelled. Yes, when you see
What?
Pittsburghese like written out, that is how
Pittsburghies.
they an at.
He
Yeah.
said Pittsburghies. That's hilarious.
Oh, it's
So,
it's a real thing, believe me. I'm actually so I do a lot of my events, here in around Cleveland and throughout Ohio, obviously, but I also do a lot of events in Pittsburgh, and since that's my home. So, mhm.
okay. And I hate that I missed you this past weekend. On
Well,
March 24th,
hmm
um, Vitamin Candy Cafe, she had her grand opening, so I
mm.
couldn't miss it.
Well, I apologize for not seeing your message in time
It's
to.
okay. I can beat you up in person
You can.
now that we know each other.
I look forward to a good old slap. I can handle it. But just so you know, I slap back. So,
Ooh,
okay.
bitchy.
Well,
Speaking of
that's
bitchy.
yeah, people always say to me when I'm doing like a veg fest or a big event, they're like, "You don't seem very bitchy." I'm like, "Well, everyone's here nice. We're all a community. We're having fun. You're giving me money and you're buying things for me. But then
Why would I be
my
bitchy,
standard,
right?
yeah, why be unless although I did a farmer's market and this woman came up and she set her dozen of eggs down on my table while she was like buying her brownies or whatever. She, asked her if I was a little bitchy, for putting
Yeah,
her
it's
eggs
like,
down on my
first of
vegan table.
all,
Yeah,
you put eggs on the table. Man,
yeah, yeah. That is a vegan
eggs.
fowl if ever there was one. Yeah. Mhm.
That's right. So, since we were talking about being bitchy, where did the name Bitchy Vegan Homo come from?
Well, it came from I was making dinner one night for my best friend Matt, and he just said, "Shut up, you bitchy vegan homo," and I was like, "That's going to be the name of everything." So it's like, so it comes completely out of a place of love from my best friend and I, just joking around with each other, and yeah, it just seemed like perfectly right to me at the time. And I'd
That's
been talking
amazing.
about, I'd been talking about starting a YouTube cooking show for a while. So when Bitchy Vegan Homo started, it really was just supposed to be this YouTube cooking show. And so those exist. You can watch those on my YouTube channel. But then as it's morphed into a business now, I'm doing a lot less of that and just really focused on what's grown into like a real bakery business. But yeah, that's the whole origin, was just my best friend making an offhanded kind of like joke insult at me. And I immediately went online and bought the domain and registered all the social accounts.
I mean,
And,
you're smart.
so yeah,
It's so catchy. Like nobody will ever, 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 ever forget that.
it does. It gets a great reaction at events. And the other kind of, and again, when it started, it wasn't supposed to be a business. So this was not calculated.
Okay.
But the great benefit of it is that I never have to deal with a customer that I don't want to deal with. They don't even come up to my table. You know what I mean? Like if they're homophobic or anti-vegan or anti
That's
whatever, like
so you
they just
weed
don't come
people.
up to
It's a
me.
it's a like a
Yeah.
weed out name too.
Yeah. Yeah. And the bonus is I don't have to be nice to people, because if I get a little bitchy, I'm just being on brand. So, it all works out. It was like the perfect plan that wasn't even a plan.
That is too. I love it.
Yeah.
So I can't. I hope you watch. Are you familiar with Vegan Chef Noel? She
I'm
makes the
not, I
mac
don't
and
think. Yeah.
cheese.
Oh, well, I make the mac and cheese. I don't know about Chef Noel,
Ooh,
but yeah,
ooh,
what my mac and
ooh,
cheese is like amazing.
ooh,
So
ooh. I
even
have.
even though people only know me for my baked goods, but I have recipes on my website, including my mac and cheese. It was actually the first of the YouTube videos that we did, was me making my mac and cheese with Matt Fish, the owner of Melt, which there was one down in Dayton area, and there's a
I
couple in
just
Columbus.
when I
Yeah,
say I
they
just
just
went 2 weeks. I
yeah,
went two
and then
weeks
they closed.
ago.
Yeah, and then they closed the
I
Dayton one.
didn't
So
know.
yeah,
I
yeah,
had no idea. I
yeah,
went and I was just like, "Are they
yeah,
like why is it so
yeah,
dark?" And I had to
yeah.
walk around and
Yeah. Yeah, they just made the very hard decision to, close a couple of them, but I do a monthly event with Melt, in, Cleveland area, and I rotate around for the 3rd location. I'm always in, the Lakewood one, always in Akron, and then I kinda travel around to the 3rd as well, and next month, I think in April, I'll be down in Columbus, so yeah, that's the
okay.
next one. Mhm.
Next month
Yeah.
in Columbus. Okay.
Mhm.
So, I was in Lakewood
Mhm.
on what was that? Friday, Saturday?
The 24th? It was
No,
Friday.
it
Oh,
had to be the next day
day
because we
after?
stayed the
Okay.
night. We
Oh,
stayed the
okay.
night. Yeah, I treated my
Mm.
mom. Her
Aw.
college roommate she's from there and she moved back
Uh-huh.
there after college. So we
Okay.
went to the vegan donut company. Oh, I
Oh,
have
my friends
been
Kyra and Charisma. Their donuts are amazing. Yeah.
I met Kyra. They
Uh-huh.
are so amazing.
They're the sweetest people. I love them to death. They come over. They will tell you how delicious my mac and cheese is, first off.
You know, that gives me
And
another event idea. Because, I might have to throw myself in there because I can make a
yeah,
pretty mean mac and
I
cheese
know.
too,
Someone
even
should
though
be
I'm not
doing a
selling it.
vegan mac and cheese competition. Although if I lose, I would be crushed. But I don't think I'd lose.
I do events. So, just like you came up with your friend
Uh-huh.
and you
Yeah.
use the name,
Yep. Do
you
it.
just don't even know all the stuff
Oh,
that's
the
turning
wheels are
right
turning.
now.
I know. I can see it.
I'm like,
Uh-huh.
hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm glad you got to try Vegan Donut Company. Their donuts are delicious, and they are honestly just two of the sweetest people. I love
I,
them.
I
Yeah.
brought up Chef Noel because
Mhm.
she's famous for her mac and cheese.
Mhm.
You already told me your story. She's famous for her mac and cheese, and something had happened. I didn't know where the story came from, but I was like, mac and cheese whore. So she's got these t-shirts that say mac and
Uh-huh.
cheese whore.
Mhm.
This guy that got upset with her because of
Uh-huh.
something called her that via
Mm.
instant
Yeah.
messenger or something,
Right.
and so she was like, "You know what? I'm gonna use it." So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to own it and you have to have fun with it. I always tell people I'm a sugar whore, so maybe her and I would get along pretty well.
sugar
So yeah,
whore. You need to
yeah.
name one of your dishes that. Sugar
Well,
whore?
I do like to have like fun names for my stuff. I have my size queen cookie, which some people get the joke, some people don't. I've got oatmeal.
Oh, you are dirty.
It's not that dirty. It's not that dirty. Come on.
Is it?
But
I don't know which kind of cookie. Depends on what kind of cookie
it's
you're talking
a
about.
giant chocolate chip and walnut cookie, and it's delicious. It's really
Okay.
really amazing. So, and then one of my popular holiday items every year for Christmas, I make my gingerbread sluts, which are very popular and very delicious. It's just a gingerbread cookie with the word slut written across it. I always tell people it's a sex positive, non-gender specific, cookie, and people enjoy it. I actually made gingerbread slut T-shirts this year too,
That's
so people.
cute. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It's just silly. I like to, again, don't take yourself too seriously. And anyone that's going to get upset about a cookie that has the word slut written on it, I think they need to really take a moment and
I
examine
mean,
some
we
decisions in
already
their
see me
life. Yeah.
capitalizing off of the slut name.
Yeah.
Pinky
Well,
Cole. Hey,
yeah. Mm.
use it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, nothing is negative only things that are negative if you let people have it be negative to you. So that's how I kind of look at it.
Yes,
And
for
if you can
sure.
have a sense of humor and throw it right back at them, no one's going to say anything to you or do anything that's going to hurt your
At the end
feelings.
of the day, it's a marketing tool.
Yeah.
It gets people's attention. So, what
Mm-hmm.
inspired you? This is going to be a double. What inspired you to go vegan, and
Mm-hmm.
how did you start cooking
Well,
or baking, I should say?
baking and cooking simultaneously, really. That was sort of a survival tool. I always tell people because my mom is a notoriously terrible cook. So
Oh, is your mom still? Is she still
yes,
here?
she's still with us, and she will
Okay.
proudly tell you that
Oh, okay.
my mom, she only thinks like a stove has two settings, which is off and all the way high. So like when she would make a pancake, it would be like charcoal black on the outside, but like still like
Oh,
runny
don't.
in the middle. And like you'd think after doing that once or twice, she'd learn, but no, she's like, yeah, still what she does.
Cooking
Bless her
is not
heart.
everybody's ministry,
No,
so
no, she is
and as
definitely
long as
got
you
some
can own it,
challenges.
there's nothing
Yeah,
worse than somebody that thinks they can cook and
yeah.
can't and wants you to try everything. You're like, God damn it.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
like get out of
No.
here.
Yeah,
No, like
exactly.
I'm not. It's like, how do you tell people without hurting their feelings? So you don't have to like the great thing about your mom is that she's honest
Mhm.
and her feelings
Yeah.
won't get hurt.
My mom has a great sense of humor. I definitely get a lot of my sense of humor from my mom. Like we joke around, so but so that's honestly why I started cooking. I've been cooking ever since when I say that I was like under 5 years old when I was cooking, I literally would like pull up a chair and I wasn't vegan or vegetarian at the time. I was like making my own eggs,
Mm,
standing on a chair
I
making my
feel
own
like
eggs when I was like 4 years old.
I feel like that's
So
everybody's first dish to
yeah,
make
I think
to
so,
cook.
probably.
I
Yeah.
that was I was
Yeah.
5 and I made
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah, I think so. See, we're living parallel lives. But so so that's honestly why I started cooking is because and then I went vegetarian very young. I was like 13 when I went
Oh
vegetarian,
wow.
which I'm 52 now. I'm pretty old. So at the
I would have
time, that means
never
it's
guessed that.
so that's the early 80s, not exactly a vegetarian kind of, mecca in the early 80s. So I was having to make my own food, because that's not what they were eating. So I would make my own stuff. Well, I should say I stopped eating red meat when I was 13. And
Okay.
then I transitioned, still ate chicken and fish till sometime in college. I don't honestly remember when I stopped. And then I went strictly vegetarian in college at some point. And then again, just sort of was like eating vegan at home, but vegetarian when I would eat out because it was almost impossible at the time to have any kind of nutritional meal whenever you'd eat out, unless you wanted to live on, like terrible salads,
Salad and fries.
Yeah, salad and fries, exactly. And so then I don't know, it's been at least 10 years, maybe, I feel like at least that I went just completely vegan. And when I went vegan is when I really started to concentrate on vegan baking because like I said, I'm a sugar whore. So I love desserts. I love cake. And all the vegan desserts I was having at other places were just not that good. And the stuff I was making, I thought was delicious. And all of my friends said that it was delicious. But people that love you don't always tell you the truth. They're, oh, this is really tasty. But I had a friend for years. She was like obsessed with my brownies. And she would just like always want me to make
Mm.
my brownies. Anytime I'd have a party, I would always be making these brownies. And so when Bitchy Vegan Homo started, and I was invited to do a cooking demonstration at the Cleveland Veg Fest. I think this is 2018. Yeah, it'll be the 5th anniversary of BVH is this May. So it was 2018. They asked me to do a cooking demo, and I had a booth there. And so I decided, all right, since I'm operating under the cottage food laws here in Ohio, I had to, everything just had to be baked goods. I couldn't make my mac and
Mm.
cheese, as delicious as it is. I could not make it, and sell it to the public. So everything had to be prepackaged baked goods. And so I focused on my brownies and my cupcakes and those kind of things. And, new business, no one's ever heard of me. I was handing out samples to people. And it was only because so many people, when they had a sample of my brownie, had some variation on like, damn, that's good, or that's the best damn brownie I've ever had. I heard so many people say some variation of that about like 6-8 months later, I started calling it the best damn brownie.
You took away one
And
of my questions, but go ahead. Keep
oh, well,
going.
that's all right. But that's how it happened. You know what I mean? It was a
Okay.
very kind of like organic thing. And I was like, but it is a risky thing to do. Like if you start saying that you make the best of something, you're putting yourself out there, especially in the internet age. Oh, you're going to just have the trolls coming for you if it doesn't deliver.
The trolls,
And
yeah.
like I always tell people, it must deliver to enough people, because you don't see people posting underneath me like, it's not that good or whatever. Mostly all I get is really is the best brownie they've ever had. So is it going to be the best brownie to like every person's palate? No, because not everybody likes everything. But the vast majority of people that have tried it have told me it's the best brownie they've ever had. So there it is.
It's a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you and I gonna be like, are we gonna be frenemies?
No, 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 no. I don't bake. So I
Oh, all right. So I
baking
don't have to worry about that.
no, but it's just like, but I'm a taste tester and I love to
Oh,
judge everything. Yeah, I'm one of
that's
those.
one of the perks of being, Dave Huffman's friends is being the taste testers. So yeah, everyone loves. I'm like, oh, I tried a new recipe, and then they get to try it. So yeah,
That's
it comes in handy.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So what inspired you to actually drop animals out of your diet?
I've always been, to me, I was never able to separate it from the living creature. Like when I was never able to eat anything off of a bone, even whenever I was like a little kid. Like that's just always freaked me out. And I always tell people, I think I've always reflected it back on my body. So like I can't eat a rib because I have ribs. I can eat a carrot because I don't have a carrot. I can't associate it with my body. So, but it really is a visceral reaction to it, and it really, I find it striking that other people don't have that same kind of reaction to it. And I had a woman. It amazes me how oblivious some people are to the decisions they make in their life. How they can
Mm,
be like loving and gentle to their pet,
mm-hmm.
but then slaughtering other things. It's just very strange to me. And I had a woman at an event this last weekend, not vegan. These 4 women came up to my table, we had fun chatting. The woman said, oh, I'm going to bring one of these like oatmeal cream pies home to my husband, but I'm not going to tell him it's vegan. And another woman said, oh, don't do that, because I had someone trick me into eating deer meat one time, and I told them I didn't want to eat it because I saw it hanging up there just draining its blood. And I'm like, she's going into really graphic detail, and I'm like, this is not a nice conversation to have at the vegan table. And she's like, well, I'm telling you, it was gross. And I said, yeah, and it is just as gross for every other animal you've ever eaten. Like, so why are you like horrified and don't eat this one, but you'll happily eat a chicken sandwich or something? It's strange to me. I just don't understand
I was
how
like
people
that with
distinguish.
chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
loved chicken. I did
yeah.
in the sense of like the flavor and all
Mm-hmm.
that. But like my family, they're like, oh my God. Like I had cousins that would literally take my chicken after I got finished eating it.
Uh-huh.
You still got meat on
Oh,
the bones. I'm like, that is
oh,
so nasty.
yeah, yeah.
First of all, and it's like, and then it's like, I saw a vein. It's a vein.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Like the
yeah.
vein and the gristle.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
And I did not, I personally did not go vegan for the animals. It's
Mm-hmm.
a, it's a benefit. And as
Mm-hmm.
I've been plant-based since 2011. I
Mm-hmm.
went for my health
Health.
originally.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And then over time, we all start to rub off on each other. You go,
Sure.
yeah, ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
like, have I gotten rid of my old vintage leather jacket from the 80s? No. But do
Well,
I buy leather now? No. Do I
right.
buy boy bristle um brushes? No, and I'm a
Right.
hairstylist by trade.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Mm-hmm.
don't. So there are things
Yeah.
that now I am automatically conscious of
Mm-hmm.
because of the community that I'm in.
Right.
So it's like I hate to see when the quote unquote ethical vegans kind of argue with plant-based people. And it's like at the end of the day, like we can all teach each other and educate, but we don't have to beat
Yeah.
each other up.
No, we're all on the same team, and whatever your motivation is, that's fine. And I am not vegan for the environment, but the environment is affected by my ethical vegan kind of animal welfare aspect. So
Hmm.
it has a domino effect. So whether
Yes.
you've made this decision for this reason or that reason, ultimately you get all the benefits. You know what I mean? So it really doesn't
Exactly.
matter what the motivation is.
And
Um,
that's all I'm
yeah,
trying to do is have people come together and just have a good time. Like you
yeah,
said, not take yourself like let's not
yeah.
take ourselves so seriously all the
What?
time. There's times
Right.
to play,
Yeah.
and then there's times to, go fight and,
Hmm.
and protest and I love that there are people that are courageous enough to do that
Yeah.
because I do believe that it's needed. I mean, like my
Absolutely.
father used to say, too much of anything is bad. So we need to get
Mhm,
together and have fun too.
mhm.
Um,
Well, that's part of another, aspect of, when people say to me that I'm not very bitchy, it's like it's not just about me, although some of my friends will definitely tell you that I'm a little bitchy, but that I think that vegans as a whole, we have a reputation as just being kind of bitchy and high maintenance, in the situation because we'll just get labeled that. So it's sort
oh,
of like a play on that as
I
well.
feel
You know what
like
I
I've
mean?
definitely gotten labeled that behind my back, or
Uh-huh.
not even, I'm not even gonna say behind my back, oh, what are you eating today? And
Yeah.
just the little
Right.
snarky comments from
Yeah.
family members.
Mhm.
What do you eat? I'm like, food, just, I can be bitchy too. And I don't mind being called a bitch. Just don't call me the
Uh,
C word.
yeah. All right, I won't.
Not you, but I'm just like, my ex-husband,
Oh, I
he
really want to now. I really want to
no,
now.
not the C word. No. The B word, I don't care. It's like I wear that proudly. I'll say it.
Yeah, me too.
Sometimes depending on
Yeah.
the situation,
Yeah.
I know I
Yeah.
can be that for
Mhm.
sure. But
Yeah. And sometimes it comes in handy.
warrants
Mhm.
that. Yeah, yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. So,
I think you and I
um
are going to be friends or not. I hate to tell
I
you.
think so too. And believe it or not, we're kind of sort of in the same age bracket.
All right, I'll believe it. All
Do you
right.
believe it?
Sure. I
Why do
mean,
you
if you
believe it?
only because you say that,
Okay, why do
you
you
know?
believe it though? I want to know the truth. You could tell
No,
me.
I wouldn't I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, people
Okay.
always tell me, although I didn't shave today, when I don't shave, that's when I definitely show my age a little bit more because I got a lot more gray in my beard. But, if
People
I wouldn't
gray
have.
at 30.
Oh, actually, well, I started going gray when I was 18.
See?
So it never like I never had that kind of like crisis of like, oh my God, I'm going gray because when it happens when you're like 18, you start getting your first gray hairs, it doesn't affect you. You don't see it as a sign of aging as much as just like, oh, that's weird. So it's
Well,
fine.
mine is
Hmm.
definitely a sign of aging. My daughter, she'll be 24 on the
Hmm.
1st, and she literally started crying when she saw that I had.
Really?
She did. She was like, "Oh, mommy." I
And
was
did you
like,
tell her
"What?"
that she caused them? Is that what you
Uh-huh.
told her?
Oh, for
Uh-huh.
sure.
Yeah,
But I only
100%.
have like I can count on both hands how many I have.
Yeah. Oh, it's good that you're keeping inventory. That's good.
I mean, it's because I only say that because first of all, let me just say, I wish I had my grandmother's book was down here. When my grandmother grayed, well, no, not when my grandmother grayed. When I came out, she was already like, she had like a skunk.
Mhm. Oh,
Um,
okay. Mhm.
you know what that
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah. I
she
know what
had
you mean. Yeah. Mhm.
the gray
Yep.
here and here.
Mhm.
And I remember when I was a little girl, I was like, oh my God, when I gray, that's what
Mhm.
I want to look, I want to come
Yeah.
in like my grandmother's. So that's where it's coming in.
Awesome.
It's
Well, there
coming
you
in
go.
up the top and
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
So, but I only have just
Nice.
a few sprinkles and I'll be 47 in
Yeah.
June.
All right. Well, and skunks are really cute. So they're an adorable animal.
Peppy Le
There's
Pew.
actually the nation's only, actually, it might even be the world's only skunk festival is here in the Cleveland area.
I don't
Skunk
want to do
Fest
that.
is every September. Oh no, it's so cute. They're so cute. I
Guess
mean,
what? So,
although I say they're so cute, but I also at the same time the animal rights person in me was like, these people shouldn't have pet skunks. But at the same time, if you're rescuing a skunk that otherwise wouldn't have survived and you're helping it, then I'm all for that. But
that's
if you're
different. Yeah.
just yeah, if you're just out there,
Keeping it
yeah,
around. And
yeah. But
so
they do some nice work with
we
skunks.
have a family or had a family of skunks that
Yeah.
was across our yard because the house was vacant for for a few
Mm-hmm.
months, and I don't know, I guess they just started bunking in there. So I have
Oh.
hyperosmia.
Oh.
So, and I sleep with my window open even in the dead
Uh-huh.
of winter.
Uh-huh.
So when they spray, it
Yeah.
gives me an instant headache.
Ugh. I'm so
Instantly.
sorry.
I could
Yeah.
be in the car, all my windows rolled up.
Mm-hmm.
If a skunk has sprayed and I
Yeah.
drive through it and it comes in the car, instant
Mm.
headache. So I'm just like, ugh, they
Oh.
are cute though.
There's nothing cuter than a baby skunk. I hate to tell you.
I don't know if I've ever seen a baby
They're
one.
so little and they're so cute. Yeah.
Speaking of baby ones, that triggered something. It's not a skunk, but it was a rabbit. And it was a family of
Oh,
rabbits that were trying to.
yeah.
Never mind. I won't say it because vegans are going to watch this. And hey, why would she tell that story? But I
Yeah.
cried all the way home.
Well, my when I was little, my aunt gave my brother, sister, and I each a rabbit, and she thought she gave us all the same gendered rabbit, but turned out she gave us a boy and two girls, and we ended up with 63 rabbits. And I grew up in we had a property that had like a barn and these other
First of all,
buildings.
how did you count those rabbits? How? Go
I
ahead. I'm
don't.
sorry.
Well, all right. I'll
Because
be
they're so
honest with you.
fast and they hop and it's like, how do you?
I'll be honest. I feel like I do have a memory of my brother and I sitting back there and like counting. And I, for whatever reason, my entire life, I've always remembered the number 63. Now, if am I making that up? There was at least
It's so
63 rabbits.
specific.
We had a room. We had it was a 3-room building, like a shed. It was actually for the property was originally like a poultry house. So they had like chickens and turkeys, I think, in there, but that was our rabbit house. So these rabbits had 63 or 3 rooms to just hop around and breed. And we would eventually, the one day I came home from school, I was probably in like kindergarten, and all the rabbits were gone. My mom had called somebody and just had all the rabbits taken away, and they've, I'm sure, met a terrible end. So it's very sad. It's not like,
Oh.
you can't, how like people, joke with their, when their parents get rid of it, oh, he went to live on a farm, or whatever. But no, who knows what they did to those poor rabbits. But we ended up having, yeah, it was a lot of rabbits. And there's pictures of me as a little kid sitting out there just surrounded by rabbits. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this
Hmm.
family, I was on my way home from Meyer. Do you have Meyer up there? You have
Yeah, we
Meyer up
do.
there.
Yeah, we do.
So, I don't know. It was just one night. This was a few years ago. This is how traumatic this was to me.
Hmm.
Um, I was riding home and it was a mama and like 2 or 3 of her
Mhm.
baby rabbits. And it
Mhm.
was at night and they were trying to cross the street.
Yeah.
And I saw them at the edge of the curb and I was like, "Oh, no, I hope they don't jump out there." And I kind of slowed down, but then I started going. I was like, "Okay, maybe they won't." Then they
Mm.
decided to go. The
Oh.
mom and one of the babies made it. So
Oh.
every time, like even in Chicago, if I drive, I'm like, I've learned from those rabbits. When you got to commit. Like just
Yeah.
commit. When mom said
Right.
come on, you needed to come on, and I ran
Yeah.
off, and I
Oh.
was just like, maybe I didn't. And so then I had
Oh.
it wasn't too far from my house, so I
Yeah.
drove, and I was like, no, I just gotta see, I just gotta see. And I
Yeah.
came back, and I
Oh.
cried, I
Oh, I'm
cried.
so sorry. Yeah, no. I accidentally hit it. Well, a bird flew into my car windshield the one day, and I was like just so, obviously it's an accident. You can't do anything, but I just felt terrible the rest of the day. Totally understand. Yeah, it's
I've done
awful.
that to a bird when I was
Yeah.
19, but
Yeah.
that I wasn't vegan then.
Oh.
I still cried though.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
hit that bird because I went out partying the night before
uh-huh.
and I got home at 4:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
And you know how back then, you were risky, stupid stuff. So I was like, oh, I gotta be at work at 7. I could just take I'll be all right. So I remember I got up and it was like 6:30 and I had to
Mhm.
drive across town and I was
Oh.
speeding and I had a Chevelle back then. So there was,
Mhm.
that car was like hard and full of steel. And this bird, it was like he saw me coming, but I
Mhm.
was going so fast because I didn't want to be late.
Yeah.
And he went up like this and just didn't make
Mm.
it. And I was like,
Yeah.
sorry, bird. And I cried the
Yeah.
entire that should have
Yeah.
let me know right there that I was
Yeah.
really sensitive
They
about
have more
animals,
empathy. Yeah. Mhm. That's right.
even at 19.
Well, a similar story to your rabbits that has a happier ending and goes back to skunks to bring this all back in. My best friend Matt, the one that came up with
Rabbit hole
calling me
story.
that, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
he he was coming home, and there was a mother and a bunch of baby skunks that were trying to cross the road, and he was worried that they were they were like stuck in the middle. He was worried where they were, that they were going to get run over. He actually stopped his car, had a box in his car, got out, grabbed a box from his car, picked up all, because the mother wasn't around for the adult skunk. So he picked up every one of those little baby skunks and put them in a box and took them to the other side of the road because he saw where the mom was, and like dumped him out, and only got sprayed a little bit by one of the
I
skunks
was just
because
gonna say, like,
yeah.
they didn't try
But
to
I was
spray
like
him.
that, and he's not vegan, but he's a obviously a loving, caring person to, stop to take care
Oh,
of these little baby skunks that were in the middle of the road.
they
So
are
yeah.
really
Hmm.
cute, though.
They're
They
really
are really
cute.
cute.
Yeah. Super cute. Hmm.
So, do you have a kitchen, a store? How do you sell your brownies and your
Yeah.
goods?
So right now I'm a home baker here based in Cleveland, but when I do my events in Pennsylvania, I my sister's house we have like inspected as a home bakery, and so that's how I'm able to do things in Pennsylvania and in Ohio. So that's until I move into a real commercial kitchen space. And sometimes I have used a commercial kitchen space when I have to do a ton of things for a big event, but mostly I'm baking here in my house. I have a really good oven, a big oven, and I've got a good system, and I'm able to get it all done. But as this has grown into something that's continuing to get bigger and bigger, it's well past the tipping point when any responsible person would be doing as much as I'm doing and by themselves, quite frankly. And it's kind of it's staggering how many things I can bake. It kind of impresses me. I'm not going to lie. Well, sometimes
Look
I
at
might see, well,
I saw that glimmer in your eye. Like, I
well,
impressed
so
myself.
last year, my biggest event of the year currently is the Pittsburgh Veg Fest. It's huge, and I, we get there, we're getting set up, and it's only whenever I see like all of the bins of everything like assembled, and I'm like, there's just no way that A, I did all that in such a short amount of time,
Can you
and
believe
B, that
that?
I'm going to sell all of that stuff. And
Yeah,
I sell out every year, and every year I have to make more and more stuff, thinking, oh well, this will be good. I won't sell out, and and I've gotten to the point where after doing this historically, I know better about how to plan. I'm all for selling out. I don't want to sell out like
super
one year.
fast.
I sold out like in an hour and a half one time at an event that was like a
It's
6 hour
better
long
than
event.
not selling anything.
Well, it is, except for all those people that come up to you for it makes you seem like you didn't do a good job planning. You know what I
I
mean?
got you.
So, I want to make sure that if people want to have my stuff, I want to, and quite frankly, that's leaving a lot of money on the table. You know what I mean? If you sell out that
But
fast,
is
and that
it?
meant, yeah, because I could have sold a lot more stuff. And so
So
I've tried to make sure that I've got enough now for people.
but those times where you sold out really fast, do you feel like you were being conservative at the time when you didn't, maybe you
No,
didn't?
I no, I didn't feel like I was being conservative. I felt like, oh, this is plenty. And then like just yeah, I mean the reaction that my stuff has gotten is really flattering. You know what I mean? People
Mhm.
what's happened with a lot of my stuff, like people will buy, I no longer really do the samples for the brownies
You
because
don't
now
have
the
to,
kind
it
of
sounds like.
right, the reputation's out there now. So I
Right.
haven't really occasionally like, I can't say that I haven't or I still won't. Like if I'm in a new place that's never heard of me, then I'll start sampling again. But sometimes what happens is like last summer I finally made an oatmeal cream pie for the first time. I don't know why it took me this long to start making oatmeal cream pies, but they have quickly become like the second most popular thing. And people don't just come up and buy like one oatmeal cream pie. Now they're buying like four or five. And they're like, oh, I'm not
I
going to see you for like a month. So we'll buy like six of them. So you know what I mean? So it isn't just like, oh, we'll buy one of these. We love these. We're going to stock up. And that's what's hard to plan for when you don't know what that arc's going to be. So,
Do you
but
do you do you ever have like a, I want to make this amount today? Or you don't even think like that anymore? You just try
oh
to bake
no,
enough.
it is very planned out, like especially for
Okay.
the big events. I look at the historical data about like, all right, this is how many brownies I sold last year at,
Mhm.
whatever well, like this weekend I'm going to be doing an event in Columbus. So I look at, all right, what did I do last and last month
What's
or the
this
last time I
weekend?
did that, it's the Columbus vegan market, like the spring market.
Okay, I'll have to
And
come. I'm in
yeah,
Dayton.
come on up. Yeah, come on over. It's at the it's all natural temple store. I'm not from Columbus. I'm not that familiar with it, but this is the second event that I've done there, and it's an outdoor event.
You
So
said all
um,
natural?
yeah, it's called It's All Natural. If
It's
you go
all
to my
natural.
Instagram, you'll see, like, it's all promoted and tagged on there. But there, so I could look at what I did the last one. I'm going to make sure I make at least that because I sold out. So, and I might make a little bit more because I'm not in Columbus that often. And now that some of the Columbus people have had my stuff, then they'll, they might stock up. So I might see that same thing. The people that bought one brownie last time, this time might do my 5 for 20 discount that I do, and then I end up selling a lot more than I expect.
How long
So
have you been in business?
it'll be 5 years in May. Yeah, coming up on the 5 year
Wow.
anniversary. Yeah, so
Did it
I'm gonna
come
be.
fast for you?
Yeah, but yeah, because even with the pandemic, those years, that's kind of when I ramped it up because
Mm.
um, I was actually, for the 16 years before the pandemic, I was the director of marketing for Cleveland Cinemas, a local movie theater company here in Cleveland. And obviously, when the pandemic hit, all the theaters closed down. It was a very scary time
Yeah,
for
we're
the
going to be
industry that I've
friends.
been in. It
Go
was,
ahead.
it was, it was a very scary time. So I was, I'm like, all right, I better start seeing if, if BVH is going to become my new job, then I better take it a little more seriously. And so I really ramped it up, and I was pretty busy during those 2 years, year and a half, whatever it was. It was really weird.
It was a blur.
Yeah. So those years were actually busy years for BVH because I was kind of growing the business during that time and started to do more events and pop-ups. And I'm doing, some months I have like 8 events in a month, which is a lot. So I'm
So you
always
don't
doing at least one a week. So
you don't feel like you need to own a or have a brick and mortar at this point,
at
or
this point, I'm not planning on ever, I don't want to say ever, but I'm not planning on brick and mortar ever really. What I think the next phase of the business is going to be like national mail order, is doing mail orders for the brownies and, some other items that I think will ship all right. Obviously, cupcakes aren't going to ship very well. But brownies and the oatmeal cream pies, those kind of things, to
yeah.
do national mail order on those, and then just still do, like, maybe I'll have to cut back on smaller events and just focus on like the bigger veg fest and things like that. I don't know, but that's probably kind of, you know the if I have a business idea for a plan, then that might be it.
What
But
do you do to keep yourself? So you don't you, I think you told me the other day you still have a day job.
I do still have a day job. So yeah, during the pandemic, when the movie theaters were shut down, a little scary, I had an opportunity to take another like marketing position with a company called TRG Multimedia, which is a big
I
commercial
think I've seen
production and
them.
photography studio here in Cleveland. We do big national ads for, Wayfair and Lowe's and, all these big like national companies. And so I work there currently. And so, working there during the day, my day usually ends around 3 at the studio, and then I come home and I immediately chain myself to an oven and I start baking and getting ready for whatever the next event is or the next 2 events are. I'm lucky in that my brownies freeze really well. So if I have to bake a ton for a couple events that are coming up, I can bake those in advance. And, I always do like cupcakes last and that kind of stuff. The things that, really don't keep very well, or the cakes, like I'm going to be doing my rainbow cake for this an event in Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks, which those are, I have to do those at the last minute and make sure that the cakes are as delicious and fresh as possible. So,
Do you think you'll ever get rid of the day job and let the baking take
I mean,
over?
it's definitely at that tipping point, or past that tipping point in a way. So,
That's what I'm wondering because I'm just like I don't want to call anything out, but I'm like I
yeah.
hope you're not getting burnt out on.
Well, I've been better about it this year. I definitely last
Okay.
year was really burning myself out and
Mm,
putting too much pressure on myself. Like, because I'm the kind of person that likes a challenge. I want to prove that I could do something. I sometimes it's just sort of like my own ego saying like, all right, let's see how many of these, how much can you actually do? But this year I'm scheduling, mental health weekends off. So I
good,
have,
good,
and
good,
I'm
good.
like, I don't care if you've invited me to this event, this weekend I'm not doing anything. And so I'm doing that. I'm also realizing that it doesn't matter. If I sell out, that's okay. You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
so
I was thinking that when we were talking about that earlier. I was like, I
yeah.
hope he got to that
I
point.
mean, again, I don't want to sell out super fast,
Yeah.
but I believe me, nothing makes me happier than when I'm coming home from a big event with nothing but empty bins. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I don't want to come home with a lot of stuff, and luckily I usually don't. And I'm flattered that people really do respond so well to my things, because, like I said, I've always felt they were delicious, and now the fact that other people see that too, and because I'm doing it all by myself, I have to kind of streamline the types of things that I'm doing,
Mhm.
because you'll look at my Instagram. I'm not one of those bakers that is ever going to win one of those you know cake decorating competitions or something like that. I don't have time to do that stuff, and nor do I really have the talent to do that kind of thing. My stuff tastes delicious, absolutely, and I think it looks really good. But it's never going to be one of those. I'm never going to be one of those bakers that's going to be like,
Like
oh, what a work of
decorating stuff.
art. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Although
It's gonna be
some of
eaten.
my, yeah, some of my stuff does look nice and it can look a little fancy sometimes, but overall, I go for deliciousness over. I want it to be more delicious in your mouth than in your eyes, because I've had quite a few vegan bakers that make gorgeous looking things, and then you taste it and you're like, I've thrown things away, that I was like, oh my god, that's so beautiful, and then I'm like, that's not worth the calories, and I throw it
Right.
out. And usually, if I'd rather be eating my own thing, then that's I won't eat that other bakery, but I do have lots of other friends that make delicious things, and I get excited whenever I find another vegan baker whose stuff I like. I love that. I'm not one of those
Okay.
people that's like it's not a competition. I want us all to be making delicious vegan baked goods, because to me, a bad vegan baked good affects me. You know what I mean? Because the
'Cause
person
then
that
it's
went
like,
and
"Oh, I
had
don't wanna
that.
try his because
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
yeah, they think, "Oh, this is what vegan baked goods are?" No, that's what that terrible one was. I've had some at an event, someone had these Pop Tarts that they made. I have a friend here
Uh-oh.
in Cleveland who makes amazing Pop Tarts. Hers are delicious. And then I went somewhere and like it was like raw pastry, and it wasn't like the kind of Pop Tart you were supposed to toast. It was like, you're supposed to like
Just eat
it
it.
was just the pastry had no flavor. It was just terrible. It was like hard. I'm like, how are you selling these? I don't understand. And someone had told me, oh, her stuff's really good. And then I had one. I'm like, oh, I couldn't even eat it. I
Every
threw it out.
taste buds are not the same.
No, yeah.
I have learned
Mm,
that.
yeah.
I've learned whose taste buds that I can trust and whose I
Hmm.
cannot. Like, when
That's
people say,
important.
"Go to this restaurant." I'm like,
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
said that? Nope."
Yeah. Hmm. Well, and there's lots of restaurants that I love, and then I hate their desserts. And
Okay.
I was in London last in the fall, and I ate at Unity Diner, which is a delicious vegan restaurant. The meal was
Oh, I can't
amazing,
wait.
and then I got a piece of their cake. I can't remember what kind of cake it was. It was just a chocolatey kind of cake, I think, and it just was mediocre at best. And when the waitress, who's very sweet, and we'd been talking like the whole night and having a nice time, she came out. She's like, and she knew that I was I'm trying to remember if she knew then that I was a vegan baker or not. But when she asked me, so how's your dessert? And I was like, well, and then I was perhaps a little too honest with her about the dessert.
I was like, "Did you
So,
make it? You didn't make
yeah.
it." I can tell you, right?
Well, yeah, I
You
have
could
to
be
remember that.
honest.
Sometimes the person that I'm talking to might have made it though, and maybe,
I know.
yeah.
Well, that's how you have to lead the like, before I
Yeah.
answer that, "Did you make
Yeah.
it?"
Did you make
Because
Yeah.
because that will depend
Yeah.
that answer
And
will help me,
mhm.
really,
And
gauge
you
if I should be totally honest with
yeah.
you, or
Well,
should, I'll still be halfway honest, but I'll
yeah.
try not to hurt your feelings,
Mhm.
kinda thing.
Have you been to the Chicago Diner in Chicago? Yeah, delicious food,
I lived
terrible
there for a
desserts.
year.
Yeah, well, their desserts are I mean, the last time I got a dessert there, their milkshakes are delicious. Get the milkshake as your dessert.
I don't
But
like to eat their so we have
mm,
at our Whole Foods,
uh-huh,
they have some of the Chicago Diners cakes.
right.
They are
Mhm.
horrible, sorry.
Yeah, they're
They're
not
not
good.
good when they're
So
shipped.
well, they're not good really
Uh-oh.
anytime.
Ooh,
So, like,
I don't know if
I've already told them. I already
I
told
like
them.
their chocolate cake. I love their chocolate cake.
Well, I can't remember what it was called. It was
To
like
save
something I
my
got like
podcast for anybody,
it's all
because
on
like,
me. I
I
love their
really do.
food.
I
I
I
do love
love
their
their food.
food, and I love those milkshakes. but I had a piece of cake there, and then the guy came back and he's like, "How was your cake?" And I'm like, "Well, what you served me was a
Which
lie."
one was it?
It was like something tort. It was like a crunch tort or something like that.
Oh
I'm
no,
like, there
I
was no
haven't had it.
crunch.
I don't
It was covered in like literally just like Hershey's chocolate sauce. It was not good. And I was kind of shocked. And then the
know.
waiter, when I was complaining about it, he was like, "Yeah, our desserts aren't that great." And I'm like, "Well, then,
You're not
you
supposed to
know."
say that, sir.
It's
You're not supposed to say that. You're
like
not
I'm
supposed to
aware
say that.
because I just ate one or part of one before I stopped because it
No,
wasn't
their
up to
vegan chocolate
calories.
cake is bomb.
All right, maybe I'll try that next time.
The
But
vegan
you'll
chocolate
get
cake
one
is
more
bomb.
chance. Well, I've
Yeah.
had more. I'm trying to think if I've had more than one dessert there, but yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, not every place, they might have amazing food, but their desserts might not be good.
And I like I
And that
said, and I
was,
can be honest and tell you that their stuff doesn't ship well. When it gets
yeah,
here to the Whole Foods, it's not good. It's really
yeah.
dry. It's not moist
Mm.
like what I've had there. And I love their like comfort foods, like their
Oh yeah.
their meatloaf and mashed potatoes. And I
Mm-hmm.
know I know it's like
Delicious.
they have like a lot
Yeah.
of wintry foods in the winter
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Yeah.
Chicago.
Right.
And I can't even
No, I
remember
love their food.
they have a
Last time I
Reuben,
was
I
there for a
think.
weekend, oh, I love, yeah. I will always order the Reuben. When that's on a menu, it's hard for me not to order the Reuben. So March is like my favorite month because everybody does Reubens for St. Patrick's Day. So I've had
Mm,
quite a few delicious Reubens. In fact, I had a Reuben flatbread pizza yesterday. It was
mm.
delicious
Ooh,
from Birch Cafe. It was
that
very
sounds
yummy.
really different.
It was really good. Had a
That
layer of
sounds
mashed
really different.
potatoes and then sauerkraut and like seitan
We just
and
need to go travel and
cheese.
eat.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Twist my arm. Hmm.
I'm so serious. Like there's so many places I still want to go and
Yeah. Mm.
but yeah,
I'm 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 happy to eat my way across America with you, so that's fine.
America and so have you been to I can't think of Gratitude Cafe? Any of the Gratitude
No,
cafes?
I have not been to Gratitude. No, no. Mm. I can tell by that expression that I'm missing out, though.
I just I have gratitude on my face. That's all I can say.
Yeah. All right.
They have this charcoal lemonade
Oh,
and
that sounds good.
their food is just really good.
Hmm.
I can't remember desserts right now, but they have
Mm.
really good pancakes and they
Yeah.
have really good salads, everything. Like
Well, pancakes are my favorite food. So if they have good
really,
pancakes, oh, I love a pancake.
they
I will
have
eat
this
pancakes.
buckwheat
Oh,
pancakes that are
yeah.
so good, and I normally
Mm.
don't like buckwheat pancakes,
Yeah.
but theirs
That
is
could be dicey. A buckwheat pancake can be dicey. I
theirs is
actually, on my website, I've
perfected.
always wanted to have an entire section that's just pancakes because I have so many pancake recipes because I make pancakes all the time.
Do
So,
you?
yeah,
No,
I just
I'm
never
not
have
a
time to update my
pancake
website.
person. I'm not
Oh, I love
really. I
pancakes.
okay. How about this? I love
All right.
pancakes, kind of,
Mm.
and it's only because so we have this saying in our family. Not a saying, but we're the Johnsons on my mom's
Mm-hmm.
side. Those Johnsons eat pancakes morning, noon, and night if you let them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm just burnt out on pancakes.
Mm,
I think from my childhood up
well,
until
I only was burned out on pancakes once, and that's when I did again when BVH was kind of starting out. If you look way back in my Instagram feed before it was really like a business, and I was posting more like recipes and the things I was making for dinner and that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
I did a month of like a pancake challenge where it was like kind of like a month of pancakes. And yeah, I made and ate a lot of pancakes that week or that month.
Did
Yeah.
you invite people to eat them with you?
Yes, I had to actually
Okay.
because I was trying to get like for a post for each day, and then I was like, I did I think maybe 5 or 6 different types of pancakes in one day, and had people over, and yes, because I couldn't have eaten all of those pancakes, but yeah, they're really
So
good.
not to I hope this is not too personal,
Hmm.
but you call yourself a sugar whore and you eat
Yes.
you bake goods.
Hmm.
Have you ever had issues with your weight? Because I see you're very thin now.
No, I'm the genetic anomaly in my family. Everyone in my family is sort of like roomier is the nicer way to put it. No,
Like I
no, I
go
mean
up and
like
down,
I've
up and down.
my dad was thin when he was younger too, but like yeah, I've always been leaner.
People hate
So
people like you.
yeah. Yeah, that's all right.
Literally,
Actually,
like you make sweets for a living. Like sugar
yeah,
is my kryptonite, it's my
yeah,
enemy, it's my every like literally this is what blows me up to like this. And then as soon as
yeah.
I stop eating sugar, I'll go back down.
Mm.
Like I'll lose 30 pounds really easily once I like cut
Well,
my
like anybody, my metabolism has definitely changed, and
hmm
my weight used to be like a constant in the universe. It didn't matter what I ate, I would always be the same.
So
And
you're an
it's not like
ectomorph.
that anymore. Well, but it's not like that anymore. I definitely have to be a little more cautious. And last night, because I knew had been very bad, I made a very healthy dinner that was, like a sweet potato with like kind of Mexican spiced black beans on it and a salad. And my dessert was a bowl of pineapple and
Can you tell I just
raspberries.
love food? I just love food.
Ah,
I love
I love
food.
that's
What's
one of
wrong?
my favorite meals now is just taking a sweet potato. It's so easy. It's like the easiest thing on earth to do. Just take a sweet potato, cook that, open up a can of black beans, throw in some
I've
taco
done black
seasoning.
beans.
Yeah, it's so
I don't know if
easy
I've
and it's
done it
delicious.
Mexican. I just
Hmm.
kind of put some seasoning on it. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is good."
I
And then I
was too
asked,
lazy to even get complicated. I literally just use like pre-mixed like taco seasoning.
I
It's so good.
think, ooh,
Yeah. Do it. Yeah, thank me
huh.
later. It's really good.
So I
Mhm.
asked one of my chef friends. I said, "What could I top? Um, what could I top on a sweet potato?" He was like, "Tabbouleh." I was like, "Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, I haven't
That'd be
done it
good.
yet."
Yeah.
So
I think
maybe
that would
that's
work.
what we'll
Yeah.
have to do the next time we
All
talk. We
right.
have to do that
Okay.
before and then
And
talk and see.
compare?
Yeah, and
Okay.
compare. What did you
All
think?
right. I I
And I
always
love
like whenever
tabbouleh.
someone suggests something like that that doesn't that you wouldn't think would make sense or work, and then you try it and you're like, "That was really delicious." Those culinary geniuses sometimes, you know. And to that point, since my refrigerator is literally half full of just frosting from different cupcake, like, oh, I had just a little bit left of coconut frosting, so I put that in a container, or
Coconut
whatever.
frosting.
So sometimes I've had people come over and I'll have whatever, just like, oh, I put up for desserts. I'd made chocolate chips and I was like, hey, let's have like a chocolate chip with like frosting bar for dessert. And some of the combinations that you wouldn't think of would work, like with the chocolate chip cookie, was really kind of, most people would not have put like whatever coconut, or I can't even remember which one was the one that was really weird, but it worked really good. I think it was maybe but anyway, so
I
it's
don't
just fun
like
to like
regular
experiment.
Oreos by
Hmm.
themselves,
Yeah.
but then
Or
I
you like
found
cookies and cream or
no.
what? No.
I If I eat Oreos by itself, it has to be, what did you say? Cookies? No,
N-
mint. The mint.
Oh, the mint ones? Yeah, those are good.
Those are my
Hmm.
favorite. I
Yeah.
love mint and
Hmm.
chocolate together, but no.
Yeah.
If I eat regular Oreos, I have to put peanut butter on them.
Mm. All right.
So
I'm not mad about that.
good. It's
That's good.
so, see, this is about my
Hmm.
and this is not to shame or anything,
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
as you can see, my skin is glowing. That's
It's
because I
glowing.
don't eat meat
Yes,
or
exactly.
animal products.
Well,
And
people,
genetics too. I mean, I have to say.
yeah, people always say something to the effect of me like, well, it's like you eat all that all the time. It's like, yeah, but it's like my only vice. You know what I mean? Like, I don't drink, I
You
don't
don't
smoke, I
smoke.
don't eat meat, I don't like, I'm allowed to have sugar. Everyone's allowed to have one thing, right? So that's my one thing.
Well, that one thing for you is the one thing that would kill me if I,
Oh,
like,
well,
literally. Like,
I don't
I've
want to
been,
kill you.
no, but I have to watch it because even
Yeah.
as a vegan, I've become pre-diabetic before. Like I got
Gotcha.
really close and I was like,
Hmm.
God.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
no
Well,
matter
everything in moderation. You know what I mean?
every
And that
I,
is the thing. It's like portions. That to me, that's the hardest thing. Like anybody, I'll just keep eating if it's in front of me. You know what I mean? But if you instead of like getting the bag of whatever chips or whatever, if you just put them in a bowl and then you just eat what's in that bowl, and then
I'll
you feel
do
like,
that
all
for like
right,
3 months out of the year and then I'll look like this.
yeah,
I like I'm a so To be transparent, my father was
hmm,
a alcoholic, and he was
mm,
a binge alcoholic. I
hmm,
don't know if you know anything about alcoholism, but
I do, hmm,
okay. So my dad was a binge alcoholic. Then
hmm,
one of my other brothers, he's got an addictive personality. So anytime
hmm,
he likes something and he will literally, he's never had an alcoholic beverage ever in his life, right?
hmm.
So we you used to try to like, oh, you should try this. And then when he said, I haven't, and I thought about my dad, I said, you're right. No,
Yeah,
don't drink. You're
yeah,
right. Don't drink.
hmm,
So a lot of us have this like binge thing. It's like
hmm,
it's not with the same thing my dad had his binging with,
right,
but like I can eat 9 months out of the year. I'll be the healthiest person ever. I'm juicing.
hmm.
And then I'll hit this window where I'm just like, I just want sugar.
Yeah.
And I'm like Cookie Monster, and
Mhm. Yeah,
so
I get it.
I'm learning how to, and now honestly, I think the older that I get, And I was funny because my daughter even knows this. Like she was like, "Mom, you're not gonna like macaroons." Because I remember before I knew what macaroons were and how they
Uh-huh.
tasted, she was like, "You're not gonna like them." I was like, "Why?" She said, "Because they're too sweet. I don't like
Mm,
things that are really, really, really sweet
gotcha. Yep, yep.
and really rich." Like back before I was a plant based,
Mm-hmm.
I could only eat one slice, and it took me a long time to get through a cheesecake because it's so
Mm,
rich. It's not
yeah.
really sweet, but it's so rich.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Well,
my
I can't
advice is
wait.
chocolate chip cookies, and it used to be
Oh.
brownies back in the day, but
Mm,
I chocolate chip cookies to me, it's like I could be a chocolate chip cookie connoisseur when it comes
mm.
to like it has to have enough salt, it has to have enough sweet. I love the
You,
savory,
I
like
think you're gonna like my size queen cookies. That's all I'll say. I'm the same way. Like I don't like whenever you have there's a place in town that people always rave about their cookies here in Cleveland, and I'm like their cookies all taste exactly the same. They just taste like sugar. Like all they are super super sweet, and you can't tell the difference between this cookie and that cookie because all it is just sweet. And
I
none of
don't like it.
my I mean, I would say my Omo cream pies are sweet, but they're also I love that little bit of salt with it. So you know what I mean? And so I think that helps cut it. And my brownies, even though they have a lot of sugar in them, that if you look at how you have to label things by weight, sugar is the number one ingredient in my brownies, but they don't taste really sweet because I use such really dark, rich chocolate that it balances it all out. You know what I mean? And it's to me like when you have something and all you're tasting is sugar, then that is not a good dessert because it should have some flavor. And I think if anything, I try to ease back on the sugar as much as possible whenever I'm making something to make it sweet, but not so sickening sweet that you can't even really eat it. It should be
That's
something that
so
you can
like
enjoy.
I want to taste the butter, the sugar, the
Hmm.
salt,
Yeah. There's
even
there
if
needs
there's
to be layers
nutmeg
of
in
flavor.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
I'm so good with it. I can literally I could taste something and go, "Ooh, you put this in there." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Really?" So, yeah.
All right. Mm. I can't wait for you to try my stuff sometime.
uh,
So
I'm I'm gonna really try to make it this weekend to the event. I don't know
yeah.
what all you're bringing,
It's
but
from, yeah, the event on Sunday is from 11 to 3 in Columbus, and I'm bringing, what am I bringing? Oh, actually, it's National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, so I'm debuting a new cupcake. It's my peanut butter and jelly cupcake. Hmm.
peanut
A
butter and jelly
delicious peanut butter
cupcake.
cake with grape frosting with a little bit of jelly on top. It's so good.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I had been
Well,
wanting to work on a peanut butter cake, but the problem is since I've been so busy baking and getting ready for all these events, I don't usually have time to like work on new recipes. And then I finally
because
actually
all the
had a
old
night.
ones are working, or the original ones
Yeah.
are working, and you have
Yeah.
how many products or how many
Oh, a
treats do you
lot.
have?
I don't honestly know. That's I
20,
more than
30?
that. Well, more than that.
Really?
I would say like of the core kind of you're always at every event you're going to have the brownies obviously and the oatmeal cream pies. Those are evergreen. You'll find those at every one of my events because they're my two most popular things now. And then other things like the size queen cookies, my mocha marshmallow chip cookies, those are kind of, rotated around. A bunch of different cakes like my Mostess chocolate cake. I love to do different kind of cupcakes because I love cake. And so I love to do different kind of cupcakes. And I'm going to be doing my carrot cake cupcake for this weekend as well.
That's the
And
only
yeah, you're not a carrot cake person? Is that what you're saying?
it's I love the flavor of carrot cake. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like all the textures.
With all the nuts and raisins and stuff. Yeah.
I'm really weird.
Mm.
Like
Well, it's okay.
banana nut bread or
Mm-hmm.
um any breads that have like nuts in them. I'm like, I'll
Mm-hmm.
eat it if the nuts are on top, but I don't want it all through.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like
Sure.
I like a nice little crust on the, the edges or
Uh-huh.
whatever, and that's fine. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go soft, soft, soft crunch. I don't.
Mhm.
I'm kind
Gotcha.
of weird like that with texture a
No,
little bit,
that's
but like
acceptable.
the flavor
Mm-hmm.
of carrot cake, I love. I
Yeah.
actually love all the flavor.
Yeah. I love carrot cake. And my carrot cake's really good. Actually, the recipe for my carrot cake's on my website. So if people want to try it, they can.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm going to get to that part as far as you just sharing what your website is and all
Mm-hmm.
of that. But I saw also you've already told me a lot of kind of taking some of my questions away, but it's okay because you're because I was going to say what's coming up next for you. But you've
Oh,
told me
so
about some of
much.
the family
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
festivals, but I
Mm-hmm.
also see that you're coming to Dayton to the
I
Dayton Food and
am.
Drink Festival.
Yes. I think that's May 7th. Is that one? I think it's May 7th. I will be in Dayton, making my Dayton debut. I had planned on always, wanting to get over there, but this is the first good opportunity that I've had. So I'm excited.
Yes.
And I was originally planning, because May is the 5-year anniversary of BVH. I was actually planning on doing an event here in Cleveland on May 7th as as kind of like the birthday party for BVH. But then the venues, like the options that I had for the venues, both kind of fell through. And so then I was like, well, now I can do Dayton. So it worked out really well.
May
So
7th is
yeah,
a
May 7th.
significant date for Mother of Eden too. We had our
Oh, is
very
it?
first, yeah, we had our very first event last year
Awesome.
on May 7th, and it was the Vegan Foodie Choice Awards. And I don't know if
Oh,
you
yeah,
heard
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah, oh, I did,
Yeah.
yes. I got all the emails. I wasn't able to attend and stuff, but no,
He
I
sent
did.
all of the emails.
Well, no, I
No.
did, because, like, I was invited, and I didn't, like, I couldn't go, like, I feel I had an event that day, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I
It
hope
was
it was a
so
big
hard. It
success.
was so hard. There were,
Mhm.
being new at this business and creating it out from
Mhm.
scratch. Like my cousin has to remind me a lot of times, you just done this from scratch. You're just
Yeah,
stuff that's just going to happen. You're just going to have to kind of like roll
yeah.
with it. So I'm like, yeah. So I at first when we so basically it's kind of like I took the concept from the People's Choice Awards
Mhm.
to for everybody to nominate who they
Yeah,
thought and we categorized it, and then after the nominations came, then you get to vote on those
right.
top nominations. And it was like it's totally up to the people. That's what I love about it. It's not
Mhm.
anything that's behind closed doors, like we're doing all the judging. It's from
Mhm.
the public. So I love
Yeah.
that. But the challenge was, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get these business people to come if it's going to be a surprise? And I said, no, I
Yeah.
have to tell them, the ones that
Mhm.
are actually running businesses, and I have
Yeah.
to let you guys know, like if you want or not, so you can decide, like
Yeah.
I'm going to ditch this event and go to that one.
Yeah.
But it turned out really wonderfully. Everybody
Great.
loved the food. It was at the Dayton
Excellent.
Convention Center. So yeah.
Mhm.
So May 7th is a very significant day for us too.
Well, good. It'll be significant this year too, because I'll be there. So, yeah.
Yay! Good. And
Yeah, so
I don't want to wait, because I still want to go to Woodhouse.
uh,
Um
what's
Woodhouse
Woodhouse?
Vegan.
What's Woodhouse Vegan?
There it's in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm
I've
not
been wanting to
familiar with
go
that one.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's
Yeah.
4th and State. You should go there
Mhm.
if you
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
been
yeah.
already. You've
Yes.
already
Mhm.
been?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So they have really good breakfast too. For
Yeah. Well, yeah, so I do a fairly regular meld event in Columbus, and I've been doing this will be my second kind of bigger vegan market event. And they did the
Okay.
Columbus Veg Fest whenever they had that. I think 2019 was the last one of those. They haven't had one since. So I've done a lot of things in Columbus, but I haven't done anything in Dayton, and I haven't done
Yes,
anything in Cincinnati.
come.
So I'll be making my Cincinnati debut as well in June. I think June 10th for the Cincinnati Veg Fest. So I'm hitting that part of the
Yay.
state. Yeah.
Yay. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking about doing an event there in Cleveland
Oh, yeah?
that yeah, that I would most likely I'm gonna, we'll talk.
Mhm. Okay.
We'll talk.
Alright.
So how can we get in touch with you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Bitchy Vegan Homo, and YouTube is also Bitchy Vegan Homo. Facebook is BVH Bakery, and that's only because
Okay.
even though Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same people, Facebook wouldn't let me be Bitchy Vegan Homo for some reason. So that's why
Because
that one's different.
they're
There's
haters
no rhyme or reason
and
to it.
they're
Um,
control
yeah.
freaks. Sorry.
No, yeah, it's weird. And then and of course my website, you can go to bitchyveganhomo.com, and there's lots of great recipes on there. You're gonna see I have an event calendar, so you see all the things that I've got coming up. And there's a lot of things coming up. There's actually events that I think I have stuff on there through probably starting in up through kind of June, but there's events that I need to add on there. So I am doing about, like I said, between 6 and 8 events every month. So and that's everywhere from Cincinnati to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I'm kind of all over the place. So it's a lot of
Okay.
stuff.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so thankful that you did this with me.
Yeah, it was very nice chatting with you. Thank you for having me on.
Yes. We're definitely going to keep in touch since you like to
All right.
travel.
All right. I do. I love to travel.
Okay, well, hang on.
All right.
And thank you guys for joining us. This will, if you're here, then you're seeing this on YouTube because this is where we're going to release it first. I may be putting this on Facebook and we'll just see. So
Okay.
thank you guys for coming.